तो हम किर्लोस्कर के हरिहर कैंपस में आए हुए थे। जो भी वर्ल्ड वाइड टॉप के बिजनेस स्कूल्स हैं, टीचिंग का जो सबसे इफेक्टिव मेथड यूज़ किया जाता है वो है केस स्टडीज़ और बेस्ड मेथड। तो यहाँ हम सर से समझना चाहेंगे कि यहाँ क्या अप्रोच लिया गया है ताकि जो पूरा स्टडी का प्रोग्राम है, जो टीचिंग का पूरा तरीका है, उसको हाईली इफेक्टिव बनाया जा सके। सर थोड़ा डिटेल में समझाइए व्यूअर्स को कि आप लोग जो अप्रोच लेते हैं केस स्टडी बेस्ड अप्रोच, वो कितना इफेक्टिव है, किस तरीके से डिज़ाइन किया गया उसको।
I am Dr. V.S. Pai. I am the Dean Research and Senior Professor in this campus. I've been here for about 20 years. And we have a unique approach of designing courses and mapping courses with cases. Both domestic cases as well as international cases. Now, each course has about 5 or 6 modules. And each module has got appropriate hand-picked cases. Now, what is the idea? The idea is theory, application. Theory, application. So we teach theories, we teach concepts, we teach frameworks, we teach different types of models. Now, it is one thing to just theoretically say what each one of these are. The other is to apply it. And you will be surprised that many of my colleagues write cases and publish cases. For example, my cases are listed in Harvard. My cases are listed in Ivy publication, Harvard in US and Ivy publication in Canada. We get royalty from it. These are purchased by other B schools across the globe. So there is an enormous amount of satisfaction. Plus, when students know that the professor who has written the case and discussing the case in the class, this case has also been purchased by other B schools in North America, Europe, Asia. They realize, because students are students, they realize the significance of it, the importance of it. That means there is that much value that it is being purchased. So what we do is we try to, tell the students that, okay, this is the situation. Now imagine you're in the seat of the protagonist. Protagonist is around whom the case happens. And now we go about solving it. And while solving it, we say that, look, here is a concept we have taught in this module. Here is a theory we have talked about in this module. Can you bring it into the case? Can you tell the CEO of this company how he can use these concepts in solving the case? For example, if it's a merger and acquisition, one important thing about merger and acquisition is valuation. How do you value the company correctly? And how do you manage to get synergies out of it? So the concept of synergy has been discussed in class. Now we asked the students to bring out that concept in terms of application in several cases. And this enables students to have a real-time understanding of companies. Otherwise it just becomes, any book can give you that. So what is the difference between a book and a classroom learning? In a classroom learning, we simulate a real-life situation. And therefore, when tomorrow students go to the industry, they have not just bookish knowledge, they have also knowledge of what has happened. For example, Maggi was a disaster. If you look at Nestle, Nestle is the world's largest foods company, over $100 billion company, European company. But in India, Maggi was a fiasco because Nestle did not know how to manage when customers came out saying that there is lead and there is monosodium glutamate in Maggi. They didn't bother. They felt that, how does it matter? We are Europeans, we have the world's best level of quality, which is true. But what they didn't realize is that in the marketplace, sometimes in different parts of interior India, the product has expired. The shelf life has gone. So what should have been a very healthy product as per their European standards, unfortunately, post-expiry of the life of the Maggi, it becomes poisonous. That they realized after the disaster happened. After the Maggi was banned, so much of problems came, then they realized. So our students get that kind of exposure, which I feel is very important. That is on the student side. On the research side, our faculty are involved in research, and the output of the research is published globally. Especially we focus on ABDC. ABDC is the Australian Business School Deans Council, their stratification of cases. And we encourage our faculty to try and publish in A and A-star journals. It's difficult, no doubt, but definitely it's possible, and many of our faculty are published in B and C level journals listed in ABDC. To incentivize them, we also pay them. For every paper published in A and A-star journal, they have given a very high incentive, financial incentive. And for those in B and C, relatively less. But yet there is financial incentive given, and therefore there is an encouragement for faculty to realize here is the award, here is the effort, here is the reward. And recently in May, there was a case competition organized by All India Management Association, AIMA in Delhi. And I had applied, had participated, and I got a certificate of merit.
Great.
My cases, as I told you earlier, are also listed in Harvard and Ivy, and I keep getting royalty payment every year based on the sales of the cases. So this is how we try to create a unique proposition for the students, that if you come into Kirloskar Institute of Management, you can rest assured that all that I've been talking to you comes into the classroom, translates into your knowledge and your experience, and therefore you are a much better product in the marketplace.
Okay. सर, आपने रिसर्च की भी बात की. इंडिया रिसर्च के टर्म्स में मतलब ब्रिक्स कंट्रीज में भी सबसे नीचे आता है. हमारा जो इन्वेस्टमेंट भी है वो भी काफ़ी कम है. तो रिसर्च कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है, अगर इस पर थोड़ा सा बता पाए सकते हैं?
Research is absolutely important, because otherwise we are talking about old, dated knowledge.
Right.
Research brings the latest knowledge into the classroom. So if the faculty, of course you may say that faculty need not conduct research. Faculty can buy the latest journal, the institute can buy the latest journals, latest reports. True. But that will benefit only the students.
Right.
That will not benefit the country.
Right.
If the country has to benefit, if the country's rankings have to go up, there is no substitute for the faculty but to do research and publication. But the problem is we are many times overloaded with teaching and administrative work. And second of all, it is not so easy to get financial support.
Right.
If you look at my own colleagues who are in Europe, who are in North America, who are in Australia, they get a lot of funding. And if they are displaying that that funding has resulted in research, resulted in publication, next year their teaching and admin workload is reduced. If this kind of a model can be brought into India, it will definitely encourage people to do research and publication. So what is the model I'm talking about? Rewarding faculty by providing them the necessary funding. And when the faculty uses that fund properly and then publishes it in good journals, thereby bringing a lot of IPR, intellectual property right to the country and to the individual faculty, that faculty's subsequent teaching and admin workload should be reduced. Then that becomes a role model. It will have a demonstration effect on other faculty members.
Right.
Thereby, as you said, we are ranked low in BRICS.
Right.
Very, very sure the ranking will go up.
सर, लास्ट सवाल मेरा होगा आपसे. अब इस पर आप अपना इंसाइट भी शेयर कर सकते हैं. तो इंडस्ट्री का सबसे मेजर कंसर्न है मैनेजमेंट ग्रेजुएट्स को लेके, और इस बार का जो इकोनॉमिक सर्वे रहा गवर्नमेंट का, गवर्नमेंट ने भी इस बात को एक्सेप्ट किया पहली बार कि एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी इज़ अ मेजर कंसर्न. जो इंडिया के ग्रेजुएट्स हैं, दे आर, गवर्नमेंट का डेटा है 51% स्टूडेंट्स आर एम्प्लॉयबल. उससे भी कम डेटा होगा, चूँकि गवर्नमेंट का डेटा है तो हम 51% लेके चल रहे हैं. तो इंडस्ट्री का जो मेजर कंसर्न है सर वो ये है कि जो बिजनेस स्कूल्स में पढ़ाया जा रहा है और जो इंडस्ट्री की डिमांड है उसमें एक बहुत बड़ा मिसमैच है. तो किर्लोस्कर ग्रुप ने इस गैप को कैसे ब्रिज करने की कोशिश की है?
Your question is absolutely relevant. I was reading the other day, Mr. Narayan Murthy, one of the co-founders of Infosys, said that only 20% of engineers who pass out of engineering colleges in India are employed.
Right.
Why is this happening? This is happening because of the divorce between academic institutions and industry.
Right.
Industry lives in one world, academics live in another world. This has to be bridged, and I can tell you how we are doing it real time. Now, whenever companies come to us, we boast of almost 100% placements. So when companies come to our institute for placements, they have a minimum of 3 stages of selection.
Okay.
One is aptitude test, second is GD discussion, and third is personal interview.
Okay.
What do? We take hold of their aptitude test question paper. We get the GD topics given by each of the companies which come here for this purpose. And the moment a student finishes his or her personal interview, we take another interview from them and try to note down what are the questions they have asked.
Okay.
In other words, by benchmarking what the companies coming to our campus want, we are able to get an insight into what are their requirements.
Right.
And that is brought into the classroom. For example, we have something called mentor-mentee groups.
Okay.
Each faculty is a mentor, and he or she is given around 10 students.
Okay.
Now, and we have something called STEPs, which is Student Enhancement Plan.
Okay.
In that Student Enhancement Plan, we have various soft and hard skills being imparted to students, not directly in our normal curriculum format. There are no credits, there are no grades for that. But students love to attend these classes because this is where we take up those topics which were given by the top 15 companies who came for the last year's interview. And we give them in, we make them do GD, and then we give them how they can further improve their participation.
Okay.
Similarly, we put them through aptitude tests, exactly what was given by the companies.
Okay.
Then in the personal interviews, for example, one of the often asked questions is, how can you add value to my company? Another question is, okay, you don't worry about application. That we'll teach you when you come to our company. We are going to ask you the basics. You know the basics. If you know the basics, we'll help you in applying.
Okay.
So we tell the students the need for them to know the basics in each and every subject and how to add value. And the only way you can add value is through hard work, through application, and by what we do is we get the same companies to send their executives to our institute for class teaching as guest faculty. During that time, we encourage our students to ask them, sir, what are your expectations? What do you think we must do more than mere bookish learning? And a lot of them actually encourage students, telling them that we'll give you projects. Many companies have given our students live projects.
Okay.
So these live projects enable our students to get a feel of what the company wants. Then besides that, we have something called business immersion.
Okay.
A 3-month stint in the company between April and June.
Okay.
Now, many times these companies, after giving them the project for 3 months, also give them a PPO, a pre-placement offer. So these are ways and means by which we are trying to bridge the gap between unemployability and employability. And mark my words, and believe me what I am saying, you can talk to our students, many, I won't say 100%, many of our students have understood this. And therefore you find the companies coming and happily picking up our students for placements. And they feel that even with 1 week or even less than 1 week of training, we can get them to work as executives in our companies.
Okay. ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच सर. आई होप कि जो भी डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर होते हैं आपके लिए, ये की चीज़ें हैं जो आपको समझनी होती हैं जब भी आप बिजनेस स्कूल अपने लिए सर्च करना स्टार्ट करते हो. सर ने जैसे बताया, सर के जो केस स्टडीज़ हैं वो हार्वर्ड में पढ़ाए जाते हैं, और तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि इस तरीके का एक्सपीरियंस आपको जनरली कॉलेजेस में, यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में, बिजनेस स्कूल्स में देखने को मिलता है. तो अगर आप कंसिडर कर रहे हो किर्लोस्कर को, तो डेफिनेटली आप सर से गाइडेंस ले सकते हो. थैंक यू सो मच सर. थैंक यू.